Hi guys, by now there are a lot of predictions circling around about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Today, we're going to be looking at which predictions are actually going to happen, which ones don't add up, and what we think is going to happen in the movie. Let's get to it.
Try to keep up! I love it! Let's start with a giant fireball.
Let's look at what the internet is getting wrong. Let's start off with Metal Sonic. A lot of people are thinking that after Eggman takes the pull from Sonic, he's going to use it to make Metal Sonic. But I don't think that's going to happen, and here's why. It's obvious that Eggman's going to team up with his father, and I think what's going to happen instead is that he and his father are going to use the quill for something way bigger than Metal Sonic. Plus, I feel like we're already having too many characters here, and I feel like Metal Sonic will just take away from the plot. Amy Rose. A lot of people are thinking that Amy Rose is going to appear in the movie, but it's not going to happen. Same thing like Metal Sonic. She would just be more of a nuisance than anything.
What did you do what I had to?
One of the biggest theories circling around is, will Tom die? I'm sorry for all of you people who want to see some sadness and some tears 24/7 in the movie. Tom is not going to die. So they couldn't just kill off Tom. It'd be way too much. Super Knuckles, Super Tails, Super Sonic, and Super Shadow. No. It wouldn't make any sense. First of all, why would they all need to turn super for the good guys to win in the end? I don't see it happening. And second of all, we want to see Shadow and Sonic. We want to see Maria, Gerald, and Robotnik. That's what we want to be looking at in the film. Do we want Knuckles and Tails? Yes, of course, they're amazing. But we don't want to see if they have the capacity to turn super or not. Plus, it would just mess up with the plot in the second movie.
Can we just talk about this?
Shadow will go and get the Master Emerald or the Chaos Emerald. I actually like this one, it makes sense. I mean, Shadow's trying to extract the best revenge he can on Gun, so why not go full out? The only problem with this one is that Shadow didn't know about Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles until they went after Shadow and tried to get him to stop destroying the world, and Gun, and pretty much everyone. But the other problem with this one is that Shadow didn't know about the Master Emerald being in the possession of Sonic and his friends, and he didn't know about the Chaos Emeralds being scattered across either the universe or the globe. We don't know for sure. We'll have to wait and see what they reveal in the second trailer before we can elaborate on this more. Let's take a look at my predictions now. Who's Shadow going to team up with? First of all, Shadow has to team up with somebody. In the trailer, he said,
When we're done, there won't be anything left.
This indicates that he partnered up with somebody. But who? Gerald. Some people are saying Rouge or Omega, but it's the same problem with Metal Sonic and Amy. They would have trouble pushing the characters in, explaining them, etc. So, it has to be Gerald. You can also see this in the trailer, when he and Shadow are kneeling down, grieving over Maria's death, with the gun soldiers closing in with their guns locked and loaded, ready to shoot. This indicates one of two things. Shadow gave up, but if he did that, then the gun soldiers would have put him back in the capsule, locked him, and they would have been around him 24/7. They wouldn't have lost the coordinates, and somebody wouldn't have hidden Shadow. And Gerald would have died, which doesn't make any sense because we see that Gerald's alive and well in the movie. So that means that Shadow had to stand up, take a fight, and beat all the gun soldiers around them. Then he and Gerald created a plan. What's the plan? Don't know yet. But it clearly had to do with Shadow being put back in the capsule, closing him in, hiding him, waiting for the gun soldiers to find him, take him to their base, open him up, guard him, and then for Shadow to break out and carry out their plan.
One condition.
The quill is a big theory that's circling around. What's Eggman going to use it for? Metal Sonic, the Death Egg, I don't know, this or that. It's a huge problem with the internet. What's he going to do? And like I mentioned earlier, I think he's going to team up with Gerald and they're going to use the quill for something big. But let's elaborate more on that. In the scene when Agent Stone and Tails are screaming, I already said that it was the same scene where Sonic was waving the flashlight around the dark room. And if you match up all the backgrounds with all of the scenes, then you could see it's also the same scene where Eggman found his father. This indicates that after they teamed up, they went looking for something, and whenever they got to the base or location that they're at, they split up. Eggman went one way, Sonic, his friends, and Agent Stone went the other way. Whenever Eggman went by himself, he found his father, and he probably got included in Gerald and Shadow's plan. but this time they had the quill, which will obviously make things easier for them. Meanwhile, Sonic, his friends, and Agent Stone went that way, tried to look for some information on Shadow, only to find Shadow. Yippee! But anyways, that's why I think it's going to happen with Eggman, Gerald, and Shadow.
But you didn't change who you are in here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
Or your heart.
Tom is almost going to die. Now hold your horses. I didn't say die. I said almost going to die. And Tom's near-death experience is going to impact Sonic. Are we going to see a dark Sonic? No. Calm down on that too, people. Like, the internet's like kind of going all nuts about that. Let's calm down. But Sonic is going to become a lot more vengeful, and he's going to be a lot more broken than we've seen him before. In fact, this is going to impact a lot of his decisions. It's going to make him team up with Eggman. It's making him fight with Tails, possibly the rest of his friends. And it might even make him do some decisions that'll lead to a bigger villain in the end.
What did you do?
Longclaw. I think that Sonic's origin story with Longclaw and Tom's almost death is going to allow him to form a bond with Shadow and allow him to turn Shadow around. Thank you so much, and subscribe for more videos on Sonic the Hedgehog. Hey Tails, wait up!